Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. I'm making a card and I'm doing it with things that I've been given. So I was part of a swap recently and I was given this lovely, I think it's watercolour paper. It was a bit distressed, so I've distressed it a bit more, and then I've just sprayed it with some sparkly spray and some ink, some things to just sort of give a bit of colour, and we're going to sponge around the sides. I've got one of these, which again, I was given several of these by various different people actually, and I believe they are by Tim Holtz and they're called paper dolls. Never knew that, but somebody turned around and said to me they're called paper dolls, so that's what I'm hoping they are. Piece of paper from indigo blue, which is rather nice. It's got splats and things, and a card blank. Again, this was given to me by somebody from the swap from indigo blue, so I'm thinking of putting it on like that. This is going to sort of go in on the center so that it blends in with those pieces, and then we're going to have that on there and a butterfly and some other bits. So let's start on this bit. I'm going to use a dark brown and I'm using a sponge dauber, and what I want to do is to just darken this down a bit. So we're going to just give it a good old ink round the sides. And in fact, I'm even going to bring it round on here a bit, because I want it to come out quite dark. Because I don't want it to be too pale. So I'm just going all the way around the edges on here, trying to get it sort of as dark as I can. I did this earlier on so I could allow it to dry, but I think some of the sparkly stuff that I used a spray. It's quite an old spray, and I think it's going to just rub off. So I need to, can you see on here, it's just rubbing onto my fingers, so I might have to just add a little bit of something in over the top so it's not going to rub off quite so much, because I don't want it to. Let's just take this and just give it a bit of a rub. Yes, you can see that's going to come off, so I'm taking it back down to what was sort of underneath, which is fine. And that will take it. It's got a little bit more red in on there, so I'm just going to just add a bit of, in fact I think I might add some watercolor pencils on here. I'm just going to bring them down. Hopefully I'm not going to knock my camera, can't tell, but oh, look at that, managed to do that. So I want to have a bit of brown on here to just tone it down a bit. So let's have a look and see what browns I've got. I think probably willow will be quite nice. And these are my Inktense pencils, which, as you know, I use all the time because they're very bright. So I'm literally just going to take that right the way across here, turn it round and do it across on the other side. Like that, and then I'm just going to take a water brush, and I'm just going to just give that a bit of the brown over the top of here. So I've still got a little bit of sparkle on there, but it just brings it down a bit. I think will work quite nicely. Don't want it too wet. That'll do for now. I should need to clean that off. I think that will be a little bit better. I am going to rub it as well because I don't want it to be too dark. I'm just trying to take it down a bit. That I think is okay. So that's going to give me my my colour. It's a little bit red, but that's fine, because what I can do is I can just tone that down a tad. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it with, just to add some colour onto it, I'm going to take my Posca pens, and I'm going to take some of the sparkly ones, I think. Sorry, I'm just getting them out of the drawer. So those are the sparkly ones that I quite like. So I think I'm going to have some of those in there. Now let's have a look at the paper. So I need to tone it down a bit. I want some white in on here, don't I? So let's take it down with a lot of white. So I might actually not use too many colours. I might just use the white. So let's have a look and see. Right, you can see how the white is starting to make it come just a bit paler, which is what I want. And this is how, when you're doing a background piece, to just add to something, literally just keep going with it. You know, sometimes you start something and you think, oh, I don't like that. I'm not too keen on that colour. That's not really working very well. Just keep going with it, because the more you go with it, the better it will become, because you then start getting the layers coming up. So this is just building up little specks of white coming through, and I keep turning it so that we have it coming through on different layers. Okay, that's nice. And I'm going to use the gold, because the gold is sort of more beigey, if you see what I mean. I don't want to have it too bright, and it's not going to be, did I give it a shake? Yes, a little bit. Okay, that's quite nice. Bit of gold coming through on here, and it doesn't matter if a few splats go on to the other one, because it's all going to sort of work out together. Now, I said I wasn't going to have black on there, didn't I? But I don't know whether I should just have a little bit of black, but I'm going to do it over on the card as well. So just a little bit, not a lot. Just a few little bits on here. Because then that just gives, that's fine. That's all I need on there. And then while that dries, I can make sure I don't get too much cramp in my hand. It's quite cold at the moment, so I'm afraid my hands cramp quite a bit. So I've got this butterfly, which again is an indigo blue one, because these are the bits that I was given from an indigo blue swap. So I want to use as much indigo blue as I can. So I'm just going to take this butterfly out and just cut it out. And we'll just see how that comes out. I do like using different media and things and mixing it up a bit. As I say, it's quite nice when you are not restricted to one particular stamp company. So you can just play around with different ideas. You can mix and match, and it's really rather fun. I do enjoy it. It's one of those things that you can just play around with, and I like experimenting with different styles. I think last year was a real turning point for me, so that rather than doing just one particular brand, I decided now I might just tone that down a little bit. Let's put that there, give this just a little bit of a wipe. There we are, that's drying off quite nicely. So this one, I think I want to just give it a bit of a colour in there, but I'm going to do it with alcohol markers, and I want it to be fairly, it's going to have to be a neutrally brown. Let me have a look and see what colour that is. Dark crumb cake. I don't really want dark crumb cake, do I? Want something light. Light, soft suede. I think these are going to be too dark. We'll have a little look, shall we? Let's see what this one's going to be like. That might be okay, actually. So I'm literally just going to do it just down on the centre like this. Just in on the body. It is fairly dark, but I think this is going to be even darker, so yeah, that's too dark. So I want something sort of mid-browny. What about this one? Let's see what colour that comes out like. Oh, that's almost, I think that's had it. Some of these I've had quite a long time, so that's no good. That's going to be a bin. Have I got another paley one? Let's see what that one's like. Oh, that's better. Okay, so we're just going to have a little bit of this coming up like that. And I always do my wings coming in from the body and then just a little bit round the outside. Now there's a little bit of pink in here, isn't it? So I can do just a little bit of pink in there. Let's take that there, that there, that round like that. Okay, so that's given me the brown, but I want to have a little bit of sort of fairly pale. Maybe that pink might work. Oh no, that's way too bright. I want something that's much more subtle than that, don't we? What about this one? Is that going to be subtle? That's better. Okay, so I can just do a little bit in on here. And this is where I like to do, as I say, dark on the outsides of both, and then a contrasting colour coming through in the middle. And then that will, with a bit of luck, take that. Now, where did I put that? I put that brown one back. I think I probably did, didn't I? Was it this one? I think it was. Oh, yes, it was. So I'm just going to add a little bit more in on here, just to blend it in. I might just do these little spots on here as well in the brown. Like that. Okay. That I think looks quite good. Put that back in. And put that one back in on there. As I say, I love using different mediums, and alcohol markers are some of my favourites. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of darkness round on the side. Just so that we don't have the white paper showing. Okay, so let's have a look and see. Oh, and I did a few little leaves as well. Again, I haven't done them in anything particularly fancy. I just thought that they might work. So I'm going to have this on here like that. Probably won't stick it down yet because I've got other things. This is going to go in on the centre. So that just blends in with all of the colours. And then this one is going to go, these two are going to come in on the centre. So you've only got a little bit of that behind, but that gives, might actually do it so that they've got, that's a bit of grounding for them. Yes, that's going to come in like that. Then I want these sorts of leaves to come in just tucked behind. I've done, I don't know, 3 of these, I think, but I might only use a couple of them, or I might use That's going to be 1, 2 behind there. Got another one in on here? Yes, I have. Tuck the third one in sort of behind, like that. So you've got that on there, and then the butterfly, I think I'm going to tuck that in again underneath the heads of the ladies and just in on the corner like that. So you've then got all of that sort of going on, and then I'll put a sentiment of some sort, I think, down at the bottom. So I think that that's going to work like that. Might change it just a little bit, but that I think is going to be fine. I don't want to use all of this. I'm just going to use part of it. So I'm just going to have this as my base. So let me have a look and see what size this is. This is going to be, what are we on here? Is that going to come to 4? It's going to be about 4, isn't it? 4 by, what's this? 5.5. So let's do this at, this is going to go in at, I'm just going to do it at 4 actually. So that's going to be 4. And that's going to be 5, and does that come to 5 3/4? 5 3/4, like that. Okay, then this has got to come in at 3 3/4. So sorry, that's 5.5. That's fine, because the other was 5 3/4, and then that's 4. Was that 4? That's going to come at 3 3/4, I think. Let's put this at 3 and just under. Is that fine? I think that might be all right. That's perfect. Okay, so let's start putting some of this together. So I like this. This is going to come in and go in over the top. Get myself some glue. There we go. And we'll put that in like that. That goes there. Then this is the piece that's all sort of torn, and that's just going to go in on the center. And I'm actually going to use some dimensionals and things, I think, with this, because it needs to have a little bit of stuff just sort of sticking up a bit, I think. So let's get a pack of foam pads out and use these ones, because these are quite big, which I think will work quite well. So let's pop some of these on here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 1 in the middle. 5 like that. Take those off. Still a little bit damp, so they're not coming off as well, but that's fine. So let's see how this is going to go. I've got some, that's going to come in like that, just sort of down. I'm going to put it in the center actually, like that. So we've got that layering coming in, which I quite like. Then I can put these pieces in as and where I want them to be. So these aren't going to be, these are just going to be glued. So I'm just going to put 1 in like that. And then this one in Might even have it down at the opposite corner like that, just a little bit, so that we've got different looks in there. And I'm going to take this one in the other corner, just in that way like that. Okay, so that'll go in that way. Then this is going to come in over on the top like that, but I want this butterfly to come in. Do I tuck it in underneath? I think I'm going to tuck it in underneath this way, because I don't think I want it to come over where the card is. I just want to give a little bit of extra detail on here. So let's just add this in like this. And that's going to come in and get tucked in like that. Make sure that it comes in on the paper nicely, like that. And then these are going to, and again, I'm not going to glue these. These are just going to come in like this. Sorry, I'm not going to put them up with dimensionals. They're literally just going to glue in on like this. They're quite stiff cards, so some of it's going to come above, some of it's going to come below, which is fine, like this. And then I just need to put a sentiment in on the bottom. So I need to have a look and see in my different pots and things of what I've got that I might be able to have as a sentiment. Have I got anything in on this one? Don't know whether I have. These are all sort of indigo blue ones, aren't they? Let's have a little look and see. Got little flowers. They're quite pretty. I could have added a few of those. No, these are just sort of little bits on here. I haven't got too much in on that box. These are all from All and Create, but I have got, you see, I quite like spring. And what have we got on here? Winter. It's still sort of, maybe have it as winter or spring or home. That might be quite nice. What I've got on here, Art Dream Home. That might be quite good. I might just put, I think home's quite nice. So I'm just going to have this home. I think I'm just going to put it there, just underneath. I'm not even going to add anything to it. I'm just going to have it as it is. I quite like that, just in underneath like that. Pop it under the feet, so it just goes there like that. That's quite nice because this is obviously in a cream, which then just works in on the bottom like that. Whoops. Now I could have Art and Dream, couldn't I? They're all part of the same bit, I think. So do I have, I do quite like putting different ones. I might like have that. Yes, I'm going to add some different words in on here. So, whoops, there it is. So I'm just going to pop this one in on the top like this. So that can go there in over the top of the butterfly. So it's just come out a bit, and then this dream can just come in on the other side at the top, and then I'm just going to put that in across this way, just underneath where the, like that. And then I've got, I just want to add some little bits of twinklies and stuff that I've got, because again, I've been given a lot of different little bits to go in, which I don't tend to use very often. So I'm trying to make a point of using what I've been given. So bear with me a second while I just grab the bits up, because they're sitting in a little box up on here that I've got all sorts of little bits and pieces in. Are they underneath this one? I think they're on this one, aren't they? Here we go. So I've got these, which are nice sort of sparkly ones that were given to me, and I think, do I go pink or do I go purple? Quite sure. I'm take these out and we'll see. I just want to add a little bit of extra sparkle on here, if I can get them out. Why are they stuck? That's better. Stuck on the card, weren't they? Right, let's take those out. So I think the pink will work, or the purple. I could even take it completely different and add bright green to it. I'm gonna go completely off piste with colour, I think, and I might, no, I'm not. I'm going to take the pink. So in fact, I've done a lot of pink. I'm going to have this bright green. I think that's going to be something that's just going to take the colour and add a real pop of something different. So you can go completely different, and I think that is going to, let's take this off there. So I'm going to have one coming down here, then we're going to have one, it's a bit smaller, maybe up there, there, and then that's a little bit smaller. Just pop that there. And I might have a fourth one actually. I know we normally do things in threes, but I just want to have one down on there. Now that is very different in colouring, but I think it works, because if I put a you'll see it on the front. I've got to work out what colour background I'm going to put in on here, but I think I'm going to have I got any that are in on here that are out? No, I haven't. I think I might do a green or something like that as the background to it, but it's just popped it a little bit more and added a little bit of extra colour and difference on there. And what I could do is to take, this is a bright green, so I think I'm going to take the bright green on here and just add a little bit of splatter with this bright green to just see. Don't want to do it too much over the ladies, but just a little bit on here, which I think like that will just bring that a little touch of green in on there. I think that's worked. I think that's fine. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.